Welcome to Foreclosure Fridays, where we're going to talk today about foreclosures and how we did a deal. How much did we make on that deal?
It's on the title of this video. I think it's $21,510.51.
In how many days?
That one was quick. That was once we got possession of the property. It was under contract. Under contract in I think it was 24 or 48 hours.
24, 48 hours.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful deal.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that today on this live Wholesale Daily Show, episode number, not sure.
Yeah, what are we at? 11. This is 11.
Episode 11.
Double digits,
Thank
baby.
you for tuning in. If you're a first-time listener on the podcast, thank you for joining. If you're listening on YouTube, probably going to want to hit that like button and subscribe because it's going to be a whole cupload of awesomeness dumped all over the place.
That was a very interesting way to describe that.
Yeah. If you need to describe this podcast to people, just be the one they're like, "What's it about?" Just say, "You know what? It's like a whole cup of awesomeness just dumped all over you."
It's a dump of awesome.
It's a dump of awesomeness.
We have our new slogan. That's it.
Wholesale Daily Show. A dump of awesomeness.
Oh, let me just write that.
There we
go. My name's Corey.
Oh yeah, I'm Dustin.
And Josh can't be with us today. He went to the bank to sort out banking stuff.
Yeah, secret mission.
Yeah.
Whenever Josh is in here, secret mission. Anyways, let's get to it because we got some fun facts to cover.
Yeah.
As you know, we talk about wholesaling, tax liens and deeds, fix and flips. And today we want to talk about foreclosures, buying property at the foreclosure auction specifically. Last year, I don't even know, how many properties did we buy at the foreclosure auction?
Well, it would have been a fair, I think, would have been at least 40.
At least 40.
Yeah.
We bought at least 40 houses at the foreclosure auctions last year. So safe to say we know a little bit about it.
Yeah.
There's people that know more. There's probably people that are way better at it. But you don't see them going live.
No.
Right?
No, they're too busy.
So they're too busy. So we learned a lot going to the foreclosure auctions, and we'll share with you some of our tidbits of how we did this deal that brought in over 20 grand, was under contract very quickly when we bought it. So first off, there's going to be foreclosure auctions in most counties. And the benefit of going to any auction is the opportunity to get a property obviously below market value. Yeah. So let's talk about, or as we say about, the pros and the cons of buying at the foreclosure sale, okay?
I'm used to a lot of those boards.
Yeah, Corey's going to town. Try to write big so you can see it. Yeah. Podcasters, we have a beautiful high-tech board of infographics that is available on YouTube.
Super high-tech.
So let's talk about the pros of investing in foreclosure sales. First off, you're going to get a list every month published by the bank that you can go out and research the property. You go drive the property, meaning going to look at it. And this is basic stuff for people who have done it before, but a lot of listeners are new. And I'm looking at the wrong camera.
Yeah, it's always
looking at this
one.
one.
But you can show Instagram some love in the podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, podcast people.
When you get your list, you're going to want to figure out your budget. And here's one tip that actually really helped us a lot. And because of where we were buying at foreclosure auctions, they only needed $5,000 down. So $5,000, and then the rest of the payment on the property was due in 30 days. So this really gives you some leverage to, if you don't have a lot of money, or because if you have an investor, a lot of the times they're going to say, like, show me the property. And you could, maybe you have $5,000 and you know someone else that could finance the rest of the deal. This will allow you to go and lock it up, and you have something very tangible that you can go and present to your investors and do that fundraising, which is what we ended up doing a lot of the time. Is we look at the property, we win the bid, and we put down the $5,000, and then that would give us another 30 days to go and find an investor for the property, which really can help you get a lot of leverage. And that's kind of how we went and did over 40 foreclosure properties within our year that we did that. Yeah, basically our first year getting really serious on foreclosures. We've done a lot of tax lien and deed investing before that, and then decided to get serious about the foreclosure. So that's definitely a benefit.
Yeah,
Corey, what type of benefits can you think of?
it was consistent. So we did sales. Josh was flying down for a bit, and then I went down, and the property that we'll talk about today, I actually bought it.
Corey won the bid.
I bid there myself. It was a really scary process. But yeah, so it's consistent. If you can find a good foreclosure sale, and usually you can end up getting into the good books with the county if you're consistent there. But now all I can think about are the cons.
Yeah. Now,
on
we don't exactly... We moved away from the foreclosure sales for a couple reasons. And here's some of the cons of investing in the foreclosure sales is you can't see inside the property before you buy it. Legally. If you got a big truck and a crowbar,
Yeah.
you could illegally get in.
Yeah.
We don't advocate that.
Nope.
Hi guys, hi Instagram. Oh, sweet. Thousands of people joining us right now.
Yeah, so many.
So that definitely got us into a lot of heat sometimes, where we bought the property, finally get inside, and it's like full of junk, or it's mold, or like mountains and mountains of cat and dog poop, like literally opening the door to what looks like the scene from a horror movie. We had that happen a couple times. And out of the 40 that we bought last year, we lost money on one of them. Mm-hmm. And it was a big one. It was like 300 grand.
Oh, yeah.
We bought it for 300 grand, but the realtor miscomped it and we thought it was worth 500. And then the market shifted, and then we had this property, and we ended up having to take a 10K loss on it, mm-hmm. which, if you're going to play with fire, you're going to get burnt sometimes. Yeah. Ideally, you don't. We broke the cardinal rule of, who is it, Warren Buffett?
Yeah.
Never lose money.
Yeah, well, we did break that rule.
But at the end of the day, we did kind of factor that into our formula, knowing that, all right, we're going to buy X amount of these properties on scene. We know that there's going to be a factor mm-hmm. where some of the properties are probably going to be a little bit of a loss.
Yeah.
And that can be the reality of this stuff. So for you just want to make sure. We know a lot of the times that these are going to be home runs. What was our comp formula on those? Remember?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, it was basically we took, like, we found the ARV. So we would find out how much it would be fixed. How much it would be worth fixed up, like, fully. And then we minus like 20% right off the top for profit. And then we minus what our rehab would be. And then we minused even more for like incidentals. And so but the problem is we'd be guessing at the rehab. That was the biggest problem, because we couldn't really see inside most of them.
We'd be going like worst case scenario rehab.
We'd be going worst case scenario, yeah. And that often sometimes wasn't enough. But sometimes it worked really well. A lot of the times it worked really well. But it was just tricky because it was an unknown variable. We were not being able to see inside the property. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another con is that sometimes it can take the county, or depending on where you are, sometimes it would take the county a little bit of time to clear the title and get it ready for you to pay it off. We've had it drag out sometimes for several months before we could pay off the property. And what sucks about that is if it's winter or it's raining and there's a hole in the roof, that could be an issue. Yeah. We've also had it where we've bought these properties and they've been vandalized. Yep. We've had people steal appliances. We've had people break windows and things. So that's why it's always important that you put vacant property insurance on it. Who do we use for that?
M. Brown, John M. Brown, Brown's Insurance. If you want to shoot us a message, we can send you the direct contact that we have. But she's great. She does awesome.
So, as you know now, we're big on the wholesales and fix and flips, and we know that as wholesalers, getting leads can be the most challenging part of what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And we produce a lot of leads now from cold calling, which really helps us. And we've actually went ahead and expanded our cold calling so that we can go and provide quality leads for investors like yourself, so that you don't have to go through the pain of setting up a cold calling floor. So For the guys listening on the podcast, just head over to the modernrei.com.
modernrei.com.
modernrei.com. We got a nice little video there that can explain to you how to take advantage of the leads that we can provide, higher quality than mail at a better price.
Yep.
And if you're watching online and you're interested in some wholesale leads provided by cold calling, type the word leads in the comments and we'll get you more information on that.
Totally.
Now, back to the foreclosure side of this. So we would do it two ways. We would get the county list, and then from there we would use we do online auctions as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember the details on that?
Yeah, we used auction.com mostly, where we were in Ohio. We would go on auction.com, and basically it's the same process. We would pull the data from auction.com, and then that would be on our driving list, and we would drive it, take photos. We would never see inside the property because that would be illegal. But sometimes on the trip I made down there, I would peek inside the windows, and it's really freaky when you're peeking inside windows. And
It's true.
And
Especially when you're Corey and you're 7 feet tall.
Just like,
and you're looking into the top floor.
Yeah, that's so. Oh, hi. Didn't think anyone could see there, but yeah. So auction.com was good. Auction.com properties definitely close, I think, more consistently, but also you also have more competition because it's online and anyone can just bid. Mm-hmm. And some people, you'd be surprised some people what they bid on without actually having to see the property.
Yeah, it's nuts. And as you know, we're big fans of virtual real estate. If you're wanting to check out auctions in other areas, one of the key things that you'll need to do is hire someone to go and drive the properties and take really good pictures. One of the tricks that we did is we would hire a real estate agent to go and drive those properties for us and even bid on some of the properties as well, because a lot of them we would fix up and list for full market value. So the real estate agent would get that full commission and the listing agreement on the property. Mm-hmm. And we paid them by the mile to go and drive the property. That's if you want to do it virtually, and to be fair, if you're growing and scaling, it could be an option as well, as you'll need to expand the way you do things and expand your team.
Yeah. Real quick, I'll just chat about the two properties that I bought when I was down there. The one, so Waldway was one of them, and this one we thought was going to be a super quick slam dunk, but it ended up just taking a lot of rehab time. But we did end up making money on it, which was great. It just took a lot more time to close and to fix it up and to get everything settled and sorted. And it was in a really good neighborhood, actually. It was like a crappy house it was like one of the worst houses in a decent neighborhood. So that was awesome. That was one of them that I purchased when I was down there. And then Felicity was the one that we made $21,550 on, or whatever it was. That one was the one that basically it had a really cool exterior. It looked like an old kind of had like a castle vibe-ish. And we weren't able to get inside of it. There was a lockbox, but we called the real estate agent, and they wouldn't give us a lockbox code. I think it might have been like maybe a bank thing as well, because it wasn't foreclosure. But anyway, so we bought it, and then once we got possession of it, which I think took I think it usually takes 30 days where we were to get possession. But then as soon as we got possession, we basically put it on the market as is, and it was under contract within 24 hours. And then we made $21,000, and we ended up splitting that with an investor. But for whatever reason, it was in a great neighborhood, and it didn't need any fixing up for that person to see the value in it. So that was such a slam dunk. If every property was sold like that, well, we'd be turning a lot more properties, that's for sure. But
yeah, exactly.
It was a great deal, and we got it at a foreclosure sale.
Sure did. And we will have more on that once our third amigo is back, as Josh has been very heavily involved with all of these properties. Yeah. However, some days he can't join us as he's out banking and doing essential things to keep the ship afloat. And trust me, a floating ship is a happy ship.
That's a good ship.
You'll be rocking and rolling through the waves of the real estate ocean, and then all of a sudden there might be a hole in your ship. And bailing out the water, you feel like your ship's sinking, and then all of a sudden you got properties closing, and then they fall out last minute, and then you're bummed because you've already spent the money in your mind of how you're going to use it, and then It's just a day in the life of a real estate investor.
Yeah.
That's the fun stuff, and that's what we really enjoy bringing you guys is the what it's actually like, right? Because you see all these videos and people like crushing it, blah blah blah. It's nothing but this big stack of crushing it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, obviously we love to crush it. And we try to crush it lots, but every now and then that boot ends up on our face or in our ass. Yeah.
I gotta change the iTunes category now because you said ass on it.
Oh, really? You can beep it out.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's now explicit. It's an explicit.
Yeah,
podcast.
that's true. And that's just part of it. You gotta harden yourself up to the emotional highs and lows of real estate investing because you're gonna mentally spend all this money you haven't made and do all this hypothetical math of like, oh, if I get this for this much,
Yeah.
I got it under contract here, therefore I'm gonna get the wholesale contract here, and then I'm gonna take that 20 grand, and then I'm gonna put 5 grand into my mailing, and then 5 grand into PPC, and then I'm gonna get, 6 deals from that, and then it all blows apart because the property you have under contract, they forgot to tell you about the $30,000 child support lien that comes up at title, and then away you go.
It's true.
Or conveniently, people forget about the second mortgage they have on.
Yeah.
I forgot I took out $50,000 on this property, which kills all the equity that we had this thing under contract for.
Yeah.
All things you learn along the way.
Yeah.
You get wiser and savvier.
Yeah. We just fun fact we just released a $13,000 water lien on a property under contract.
We got it released?
I think it follows the person now, not
Yes.
us. So we are clear to close on that. Hopefully on Monday.
To close.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. If you're listening to the podcast, please do us a favor. Leave a comment on the YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. Also, leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're a wholesaler and you're looking for more leads and you want them, we have a cold call sales floor that generates premium wholesale leads at a great price, pretty much on demand, which is what we love about cold calling because as soon as we put the list in, we're popping leads up immediately.
Yeah.
In the last 2 days, we've put up, I think, 18 just leads for ourselves. So type the word leads in the comments and visit modernrei.com if you're listening to the podcast. And we'll see you guys on Monday. Instagram, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
YouTube, Facebook. Have a great weekend.
Leave it. HK been working. Hey,
Yeah.
see you. HK been working. See you, everybody.
Bye. Have a good weekend.